These are 5 key success factors that we discovered through our research for effective non-profit international public relations. I know what PR is, but I wish there was some kind of playbook or framework that I could follow to guarantee effective PR every time. Well, there is, and you've come to the right place to find out what it is today. Welcome to Maybe Pod. This is a podcast brought to you by international public relations agency Maybe, all about countercultural PR. This is effectively your open PR playbook. We're opening up what is our playbook and our PR blueprint, one episode at a time, helping you understand and use public relations effectively. We're passionate about it. We're excited. My name's Katie. I didn't introduce myself yet. I'm the CEO and founder of Maybe Agency. So glad you're here with us today, and so glad to be talking through what is such an exciting topic, the 5 key success factors that we have defined. We wrote the first thesis in the world that looked at key success factors for effective nonprofit PR globally. And I'm going to talk you through them today, what we found and what framework you can start to use straight after this episode to work your way towards effective and excellent public relations. So I am an MBA scholar from Warwick Business School, and when I was completing my MBA, I had to do a dissertation, which I actually really enjoyed. It was a very big piece of work, but I looked into and I saw a gap in the literature for research into effective nonprofit public relations. There's a lot out there that's about public relations in general and in the private sector, some of the different learnings and frameworks that work for those particular sectors, but nothing on nonprofit PR. So I decided, let's make a thesis and work it out, because I figured there had to be a way specifically for nonprofits to have a framework to follow that would help them and set them up for success with public relations. Spoiler alert, I was right. There is such a framework. We have coined it. We've discovered it from the very first thesis in the world on this topic, and we've come up with a 5-step framework. So these are 5 key success factors that we discovered through our research for effective nonprofit international public relations. And I'm pleased to share them with you today. As I said, it's a very easy framework to follow. And thank goodness that there was something that we discovered, because it's a great resource to be able to use, and it will almost guarantee you to have effective PR every single time that you use it. Let's go through all 5 right now, and then we'll dive into them in great detail. So the first one, use of personal stories. The second, my favorite, a multi-platform strategy. The third, PR connected with corporate strategy. The fourth, use of research. And the 5th, a focus on collaboration. Use of personal stories. This is a great one. You want to bring a human angle to your stories each and every time you do public relations. And this is for local and global media pitches, really showcasing how your organization affects people. In our research, we found nonprofits who use personal stories in their PR approaches are more likely to get media coverage, are more likely to connect with their audiences, ensure engagement with their cause and services, raise greater awareness, and raise more funds. So what does this mean in practice? Well, you can use personal stories in press releases, pitching individuals with a strong story to TV or radio media, publishing a series of personal blogs by people affected by the cause that your organization represents, utilizing local case studies. This is a really big one, whether that be for TV, for radio, for feature articles, for a press release, letting the media know that there's a local person and a human angle to talk about your story. One specific example is a nonprofit client that works with us, St. John Ambulance, and we use case studies in their media releases all the time. So obviously they're all about first aid training, mental health, first aid at work. So we get people that have really experienced this personally to share their story. In one of the most recent media releases we put out, it was all about the importance of first aid training and first aid at work. And so we highlighted the story of a man that wasn't meant to be on shift the day that he was on. He was just passing by his organization. Someone suffered a first aid emergency, but he had the training in place and was able to help this person until further help arrived. So using these personal stories, not just data, really brings the public relations story to life. It makes it more media newsworthy, and it makes it more relatable for the general public, because we relate to personal stories and experiences as well. So use of personal stories, very important straight off the bat. Number 2. A multi-platform strategy. This is the one that excites me the most. And if you watched episode 2, you would have heard and learned and understood our definition of PR, which is all about how you relate to all of your different publics, right? And what we consider public relations to be is not just earned and owned media, but it spans multi-platforms. And this is really key. If you can get your PR messages across multiple platforms, you're going to increase your reach, you're going to increase your engagement, you're going to increase your effectiveness. So what are some of these platforms? So media releases, for example, but then you want to take the same content that you're using in a media release to other platforms. So repurposing that content. It could be into a blog, could be into a thought leadership piece, could be into a social media post. Really what you want to be able to do is take one story and one piece of content and use it on multiple platforms, again, to increase your reach, to increase the effectiveness of that message getting across to a variety of different publics and all your key stakeholders. And to ensure, this is one I love, that you're heard and you're seen and you're viewed everywhere. We used to do this back in the day in Australia when I worked for one of the biggest nonprofits in the country. We would have a TV news story that ran at 6 p.m. in the evening. It was a cancer-related organization. So let's just say it was about sun safety. So I like to use this approach back then where you're featured in a 6 p.m. news story and the next day it's on the front page of the paper, it's in radio news grabs, it might be in local papers as well. So making sure that you're heard and seen and viewed everywhere. It meant that people watching the news got to see the story and then they get to work the next day, driving to work, hearing the radio, wait, it's the same story. Get to work, hanging out with people in the lunchroom, opening a newspaper, hey, it's the same story. And the same organization talking about the same content. It really makes you cut through with your messages. So if you're just using at the moment a single platform, please, if you take anything away from these 5 key success factors, I would say move to a multi-platform approach. More examples of these other platforms you could use: profiles, opinion editorials, newsletters, magazines, articles, social and traditional media, reports, videos, and podcasts. What we found in our thesis, I'll read it word for word because it'll better explain it that way. It is clear that the use of multiple platforms is necessary to communicate with a variety of different nonprofit target audiences, which vary based on the context of the nonprofit. It's not simply the fact that a one platform or one PR approach fits all, but nonprofits that adopt a multi-platform approach, so both traditional and digital media channels, they're most likely to gain consistent PR coverage across a variety of channels, engaging a variety of target audiences relating to their mission and aims. Enough said. Number 3, PR connected with corporate strategy. This is a hill that I'm really passionate about standing on, is that PR should be connected with corporate strategy in organizations. It shouldn't be left to the side. It shouldn't be left all the way down under marketing, advertising, somewhere in the comms bucket, way down low. It should be connected to corporate strategy at the very top. Why? Because then integrating and intertwining public relations and communications at the highest level ensures that it's intertwined with your organization's vision, mission, goals, and priorities. What did our dissertation find? Well, that there was an emphasis in the private sector on PR being incorporated into company strategy at the higher management levels. So it happens a lot in the private sector. And there's a belief from the sector that this needs to continue also for nonprofits, with an agile approach for PR to remain effective for companies in the future, especially considering the competitive landscape and the growth of the industry. So it's almost a necessity. What does it mean in practice? Well, this is talking about including the PR management function at the high senior leadership levels, potentially at the board level, as part of executive leadership teams, in with the C-suite, in with the board of directors, really connecting with corporate strategy. That's a very big one, really important. Number 4, I also love. I love all these 5 key success factors equally, but this one has a special place in my heart, the use of research. And again, if this is the 3rd, maybe pod episode you've watched, the first 2, you'll know that I'm a big fan of research. What we do in terms of countercultural PR is backed by research. I just love it. I love it. And I love the fact that you can use research in your stories to take them further to audiences that need to hear them. So really this is about maximizing your owned and industry research in your approach to public relations, in your media releases, your media alerts, profiles, and feature articles. Again, what did the dissertation find? Nonprofits that can incorporate their own or cited research into their PR strategies are more likely to generate media coverage and generate engagement with target stakeholders. What research really does is brings credibility to the message of the nonprofit. You know that if there's new research on a health issue that's been uncovered, you're interested in it. The public love new research, they love data points, and it can make your story a lot more newsworthy if you tie it into the cause and the core message of your nonprofit. So you're bringing the data and the statistics to the table that add to your nonprofit messages, your claims, your activities. So what does this mean in practice? Use relevant data in your pitches to media, in press releases, wherever possible. It can be new research. It can even be citing older research that's not your own. It can be industry-led, but it's important to have data to back up the points that you're making in your public relations pitches. What did we find? Including relevant data in pitches for news stories can generate extra media coverage and is a proven key success factor for nonprofit PR. Where are we up to now? Is it number 5? Yes, focus on collaboration. This is also a nice one. It's really nice when you can partner and team up with other organizations and take your combined PR reach even further. So this is all about finding other stakeholders that you can collaborate within your industry sector, maybe to co-author an op-ed, co-author a thought leadership piece, or jointly distribute a press release. Again, let's go back to the thesis. What did we find? Nonprofits who collaborate with a broad network of stakeholders can improve their PR effectiveness by creating and maintaining strong relationships with the range of key stakeholders, depending on the missions, aims, location, and context of your nonprofit. PR effectiveness and reputation is improved with a broad range of target audiences. It also brings credibility to you because you're partnering with an organization or other key stakeholders that are also seen as credible in their industries. So this focus on collaboration is about credibility, but also building trust with your audiences and partnering with others in order to do so. So there we have it, our very user-friendly 5 key success factor framework, 5 steps. Use of personal stories, multi-platform strategy, PR connected with corporate strategy, use of research, and focus on collaboration. It's a user-friendly framework, but you could pull out, 1 or 2 of these and still be on the road of success to great effective PR. You could start today looking at a multi-platform strategy. You could start today using personal stories a lot more. You could start today thinking about the collaborations that you can make that can take your stories further. Even taking 1 or 2 of these will greatly improve your PR. It's easy to follow, an insider secret to great PR, which we're very pleased to provide you with here at Maybe Pod. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love for you to forward it to someone else that could benefit from it. Remember to follow, hit like, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, or maybe you're watching this on YouTube. Stick around with us. Next week, we're actually going to look into Davos, what your PR playbook should look like surrounding the event, whether you're attending or not. You'll want to tune in for this episode. Some more PR insider secrets coming up. I'm Katie Clift. It's been a pleasure to host you today. See you next time on Maybe Pod.